Well, hello again, everyone. Hello, Truth. I will definitely be dropping you a link in a minute. The reason I am live is because we have a good old friend over there named Laura who questions my sobriety and my recovery. Now, this is problematic to me. This is bothersome. Hi, Brandon. How are you, hon?
I'm good, baby. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Great. So let's talk about this. What would you like to say?
I don't know. Give me some. What do you want me to talk about? I don't know what specifically.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it. Hold on. Okay, everybody now listen to what Laura says.
Eat that. A sponsor-sponsee relationship is one of the most intimate in the human repertoire of experience. Well, Sarah tried to say that I was lying about that, CK. So the last thing needed is sexual chemistry. And unfortunately, it's been going on since both men and women have attended AA. It's best avoided. So Sarah, I question your sobriety.
She questions my sobriety.
Doesn't she drink
Yeah,
alcohol?
she does. She
Okay.
drinks.
So this is someone who was in recovery or studied recovery, 12-step stuff, yet they're not sober, questioning other people's sobriety. Does that make sense
No,
to
it
you?
makes no sense. Would
Okay.
you like to define what intimate means?
Well, my thing is I think she thinks intimate means sexual. I'm pretty sure. The way
Right.
she kept emphasizing it, no, that's not what that word means. But I'm not 100 on what she means on a lot of things because none of this makes any sense.
So intimate means
Can you play
closely
the other?
acquainted, familiar, close, intimate friends. Intimate does not mean sexual.
Also, can you read the second definition?
Second definition, private, impersonal.
Impersonal. Thank you. Also, can you play the rest of what you played me?
Yeah.
That she said.
Yep. Let me find it.
Okay, I want to show you guys this. This is important. Okay. Is it okay for a woman to have a male sponsor in NA or AA? Here's the answer. In very general terms, members are discouraged from having a sponsor of the opposite sex. Why? Because a sponsor-sponsee relationship is one of the most intimate in a human repertoire of experience.
Let me just stop that right there real quick. Intimate means personal. It has nothing to do with sexual.
And I think she's confused on that. I'm not 100 on that, but yeah, it just sounds like she's confused.
Yeah.
Was there
and Ben, I'm so proud of you, by the way. He's not drank in 3 weeks. And Laura is in there in her chat telling Ben that he needs to stop drinking. She does not pay attention.
Right. My point exactly.
Here she is talking about how she's going to drink, yet she's going to tell somebody they need to stop drinking?
Yeah, it's kind of odd. It's kind of an odd, do as I say, not as I do, giving directions to people when she's not even doing it. It's bizarre. I feel like this is a person who has nothing to say in relation to what we're talking about. So it's really odd to hear someone try to continue to step in and say, "Oh, you can't do that, but you can do this, but don't do this, do that." It's just so backwards. Wasn't there a part where she admitted it wasn't a rule? Didn't you play me something where she said it's not a rule, and then she said, "But," because what she just read, it sounds like she's reading something from the internet. That's not approved literature. And once again, she's completely discrediting the entire gay and lesbian community. when a new gay person walks into an AA meeting, they don't go, "Oh, you got to have a male sponsor. You have to," or it's a rule. Sorry, you have to have one. When a lesbian woman walks into a meeting for the first time, they don't go, "You have to have a female sponsor." I don't know what kind of meeting she's been to while she's drinking. Maybe she was drunk at the meeting. I don't know. All I know is that no one says that. Now, of course, in if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I think I'm attracted to this person. Should they be my sponsor?" Of course, I'm going to tell them no. Obviously, but once again, what she's saying discredits the entire gay and lesbian community in 12-step recovery, because it's not how it works. But she played a part where she admitted that there's no rule. I'm pretty sure it says in the back of Bob's story that he sponsored male and female. So I don't know. The whole thing's very confusing to me.
Hey, Marianne. Hey, Shannon. Hey, Coffee Chat. Hey, Christy. Hey, Randa. Yeah, it's very confusing. She contradicts herself, right? She says, they're not supposed to. And then she follows it up with, well, Sarah and Brandon. Brandon was her counselor. Yeah, Brandon was my counselor. And guess what? I've been sober longer than I have ever been, jackass. I've stayed sober this long. I could not even hold a day sober before I met Brandon. I'm going on 6 years sober from heroin.
Once again, it sounds to me like she thinks counseling is 12-step recovery. They're actually the opposite. I'm not going to go into great detail about that, and I can at another time. But once again, this is stuff that's so far, the stuff she's talking about is so far removed from the 12-step stuff that I don't really have much to say. People marry their doctors. People marry their lawyers, their judges, cops, mailman, pool guy, the guy that cuts their grass. People get married all the time. Their profession really isn't important when it comes to love, I think. I don't know how she does it or how they do it where she's from. But
thank you, 1-1.
Once again, it makes no sense what she's saying. She's admitting there's no rule. And then she says, and then she goes into all these reasons why there should be a rule, according to her. This is someone who drinks, someone who's consumes alcohol on a regular basis or whenever on the weekends. I don't know. Don't really care.
And doubling up on Adderall. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think she has I don't think she has a dog in this fight. That's why anything she says
the first thing of recovery. She does not know anything about recovery.
That's why she's reading something off of Google.
Right.
Someone's opinion. And it might even be someone's experience where they're from. That's great. That's great. That's for somebody. It's not for everybody. I think she just doesn't like you. So she tries to make this we're lying or we made stuff up or no, it doesn't say anywhere not to do that. Maybe, yeah, it says all kinds of stuff on the internet. I can show you all kinds of stuff. And especially when it comes to 12-step recovery, it has nothing to do with AA or NA.
Not a thing.
It sounds like it because the person's using the terms associated with 12-step recovery. It's kind of what she does. She just uses the terms associated with 12-step recovery and tries to make it sound like she knows what she's talking about. I've kind of said that all along. I just don't feel like there's much to talk about because she doesn't know. And it could be possible that she doesn't know that she doesn't know. Very possible. So
a lot of narcissists are like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't want you to get involved in that topic. But, Brandon tried to talk me out of going live about this. But, there's that big word, but. I don't like anyone to say how the 12 steps should or shouldn't work. She has no idea what recovery is. She has no idea what my recovery is. She has no right to sit there and imply that I'm not sober and that she questions my sobriety. If you don't want people to talk about you, Laura, then you need to stop questioning people's sobriety. You need to stop questioning people at all. You need to mind your own damn business. And it's none of your business if I married my counselor or not. Guess what? I was in detox. I met him. And then I started going to the same AA meetings as him. And yeah, we hooked up. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. Uh-oh. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, something came up on the screen and it says Adobe Flash Player.
Oh, probably just one of the million updates you need on your computer. No biggie.
Oh, it's been telling me I need to update. I hate
For
this
years.
computer. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I just don't like when somebody acts and pretends like they are a know-it-all when they don't know the first thing about recovery. They don't know the first thing about AA.
You want to know something crazy?
Yeah, I do.
I used to sit in the county jail and I would watch the guys in AA bring a meeting into the jail. And I would look at them and go, what a bunch of losers. Like on a Saturday,
I love you.
they came to a jail and sat with a bunch of dudes for an hour. They got to leave after the hour. I got to sit in a room with 120 of my best friends. It's insanity. Looking at someone else's life and going, oh my God, they're so stupid. They're crazy. They're whatever. You know, that was my opinion of them until I became one of them. Once again, I had no concept for what they were doing. So I had no business saying what they should or shouldn't do. It's called insanity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's someone who really obviously has no concept for what recovery really is. If they did, they would, first and foremost, they would obviously know that in the gay and lesbian community, it doesn't work that way. Off the top, they would know that. I don't care where they go.
Society has changed. Things have changed since the early days. It's not like they were back then.
But they did back then.
Yeah, but there's some groups that might have frowned upon it, but they never said you couldn't do it. They just frowned upon it.
You weren't sponsored by one person back then. You worked your steps in a group for years. You didn't even go to a meeting until you worked step 9 or step 8. You didn't even go to the meeting. You went to a session an hour before or the day before with a group of people, and they worked the steps as a group, men and women. I know, it's so unbelievable. Truth be told, women weren't really invited in at first. Not anything to do with sex or intimacy or whatever she thinks, because they didn't believe women could be alcoholic. Until a hopeless, puking, couldn't stay sober drunk showed up, and all them men standing there helped that woman get sober. Did she stay sober? No clue. But that would be something interesting to research. I might try to find out who was one of the first women to get this thing. I mean, I've heard some leads over the years of people that were there early on. A lot of them, unfortunately, have passed. But they thought a lot of the women should go to Al-Anon because that's kind of where the women hang out. Mm-hmm. But if someone's actually alcoholic, maybe they need the steps as designed for alcoholism. But I don't know. Once again, to me, it's just kind of bizarre.
I think that would be fascinating to research, honestly. I think that you should do that.
I'll see what I can find. There's no telling. I mean, on the internet, there's a lot of stuff out there. So I'll have to go listen to some old speakers. That's usually the best way to find out who was who on that. I'll see what I can do.
Okay. But I did want to come on and defend myself from her ignorance. She doesn't need to worry about my recovery. She does not need to worry about my sobriety. She doesn't even know what recovery is. If you're going to sit there and tell someone to stick a needle in their arm and die, you have no right to talk about recovery. I'm sorry, you just don't. For you to get on and admit that you don't go to AA or NA because you just didn't like it, then you have no right talking about it.
She said that?
She said that.
Then what are we talking? Then what is she? I don't understand what she's saying. Once again, this is someone who's not even in the program, doesn't like it, sure, whatever. That's fine.
That's why I feel like we need to protect it and tell the truth about it instead of having idiots like her slander it.
The truth doesn't need defense. I mean, I get what you're saying, and I'm with you. I'll do it every night of the week. But at the end of the day, none of this needs defense. That's why she's continued to talk about it. From my perspective, when someone knows they're wrong and knows that maybe they don't have the right answer, they talk a lot. And she said a lot in that little audio you showed me. And at one point she said, there is no rule, no written rule, whatever. Then she said, but, and then tried to explain why there should be, or she thinks there was, or I don't know. All we asked was send us the rules, show us where the rules are. We'd love to see them. And what we got was a bunch of opinion, a bunch of her BS. I don't know.
That's all she ever spews is a bunch of BS.
I'm not surprised. And I got nothing, like I've said before, I don't know her. Don't even care. She can say whatever she wants about me. I'm not going to go after her and say things. I don't care. I judging from what I've heard her say, she's got much bigger issues and problems than I could ever add or subtract from her life. So,
amen.
If she's got her own issues. So, she chooses to work them out online or try to figure it out online. That's fine. There's thousands of millions of her, trying to figure it out. And I hope she finds what she's looking for. In this instance, she's talking completely out of experience and about things that just aren't accurate and aren't true. Now, one of the things we also got to remember is we're from Ohio. Ohio is very old school, very, the first meetings ever, the first 12-step work happened all around where me and you live and have been throughout our lives. So things are they're just very old school. So maybe there are parts of the world where they tell people not to do this or not to do that, and they have these sort of unsaid rules. I get that. The best I've understood, if it's not in the book, it's not AA. If it's not in the literature, it's not AA. And that's worked best for me and a lot of other people, and even people I've met from other states and other countries. If we just follow the book, do what the book says, or try to do, what we've discovered to work there, we're going to have the best results. So that's been my experience.
And we're living proof of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I never would have thought that, I could own a home, have money in my bank account, anything. I was such a piece of shit. And once I started my recovery path, and once I started NA and AA, my whole life changed. Like, that book helped change my life for the better. I will always respect AA and NA, and I will never allow an idiot like her to slander it. And then to question my sobriety, go fly a kite, Laura. God. Sorry.
No. Yeah. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Usually, like, when I get into these little tizzies, Brandon will be the one that stands there and says, well, let's see. Do you really want to do this? Why don't you just wait? Calm down a little bit.
I guess I was her counselor at one point or something. That's what they said. I don't know if it's true or not, but allegedly. I guess alleged counselor,
right?
Supposed. Yeah. Now take your medication and just come over here and have a seat while I have the doctor come out and talk to you.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I've said that a few times in my life, but
yeah.
No, it's I wouldn't do anything different.
You know what Brandon said to me the very first, after we started dating, I said something completely ridiculous. And Brandon looked at me and he said, I knew you. How'd you say that? Something about my chart. He's like, I knew everything about you.
I used to say to her all the time, I knew everything I needed to know about you before you left that hospital.
Yeah. He knew how crazy I was. He still loved me.
You've got the same diagnosis every addict's got. And once we get reassessed years later, a lot of the mental health stuff goes away. I mean, other than depression, that's kind of, fear, anxiety are going to be companions.
I never thought that I would find anybody. I really thought I was this huge piece of shit and that I would never find anybody to love me. And I thought that if I ever did find love, it was going to be somebody who beat me or was not good to me or cheated on me. I never expected to find somebody like Brandon, and I am so grateful for him. I mean, I don't know what I did to deserve that because I did a lot of bad stuff, but I'm so grateful. God gave me a second chance.
So what happened was I was working one night and I was just about to get off work and I looked out the window. They had like a nurse's station, where the nurses would sit and I would do my notes in there. And I was looking out and Sarah was sitting by herself watching the History Channel. She had a green hoodie on with the hood up.
Yeah.
She had her hair like she used to do her hair all the time. She don't do that much anymore, but she used to. And like Amy Winehouse style. And how appropriate. And the voice in my head said, that's the girl I'm going to marry.
Yeah.
And that was the scariest. I left work. I left work like 30 minutes early. I'm like, whoa, what's wrong with me? And I just knew it. I knew it was love because it hurt. Every moment I wasn't with Sarah, I was in pain. Or I couldn't see her. I couldn't touch her. I couldn't say, it's going to be okay. I wasn't touching her. I mean, I think I hugged her a couple of times here and there, but that was pretty normal at this treatment center. And I just knew it. I just knew that this was the girl I wanted to marry. But of course, I'm an addict too. So my head says she'll never date you. She'll never be with you.
Yeah, I'm sitting in a psych hospital and you're thinking that?
I'm an addict alcoholic. My mind always paints the worst case. You know, I'm not good enough. I'm not handsome enough. I'm whatever. I'm not this and not that. And, you know, I talked to my sponsor. I knew he was going to say, okay, you need to take off work. You need to tell your boss. And my sponsor said, because I had never said all this to him. I had never been like, dude, I'm in pain. Like, it hurts. And I think that's how he knew it was real. It wasn't just like, oh, I saw this hot chick and I want to get her in bed. It was, I'm in love with this person. And, you know what? He said, try it. He said, just keep me updated. Make sure you're calling me every day throughout this experience. We'll see how it goes. And that's what I did. I called one of my buddies. He kind of said the same thing. He was like, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You know, maybe it is real. You need it, but you need to find out. You need to walk through the fear of you're not good enough and find out.
Yeah.
And we've been together ever since. So
yeah, 6 years.
Yeah.
So when somebody says you can't date anybody in recovery that has to do with sponsorship, that's not true. I mean, Brandon wasn't my sponsor. He was my counselor. So there's like a big difference between a sponsor and a counselor. Yeah. Laura tried to correlate the two, but they are definitely separate.
Because she thinks they're the same. Once again, like she obviously thinks that's the same thing. Like that made sense to me tonight that like, that's why she's saying this. She thinks that those are the same thing and they're not. Counseling is not sponsorship and sponsorship is not counseling. They are so, I'll just say, I'll try to get through it real quick to try to explain it. The idea of therapy, the central idea is me and a therapist or me and a doctor or me and a counselor are going to find childhood issues and existing conditions and problems, and we're going to fix me. Human power. Me, and like I said, a doc, a therapist, a counselor, whatever, a nurse, a priest, whatever. There's a lot of different types of therapies out there, especially for chemical dependency. And 12-step literature is very clear. No human power can restore us to sanity. And being restored to sanity is where we get into recovery, where we lose the obsession to drink and use, and we go on and live our lives. So they're opposite. Counseling is saying a human power is going to fix it. And Sarah will tell you, as a counselor, I would tell people that. I'd tell them, like, this is just the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just the start. After here's where the real work begins. So get all the therapy you can while you're here. That way, when you're out there, it's a little easier to talk to people or be honest in meetings or honest with a sponsor or sponsee. You know, the way I sponsor guys, I don't counsel them. I don't talk to them about their childhood issues and give advice and all the stuff she talked about. No, I talk to them about how to get closer to a higher power. If they want to talk about that stuff, I'm always available. But I let them know up front, regardless of my profession, past or present, I'm not a therapist or counselor in that moment. I'm a sponsor. You know, I don't try to put that hat on people. I try to let them know that up front, because people have asked me in the past to sponsor them because they knew I was a counselor. The deal is that I believe, as the literature states, that we have to find a higher power, and that's what's going to keep us clean and sober. It's just my experience. So that's my spiel on counseling versus sponsorship.
That was very good. I might have heard that spiel a few times.
I bet you have.
Yeah. That's for another day. Woo. Hey, home mycology. How are you? I don't know. I guess, I think I'll let Tracy up and see if she wants to chat for a little bit. I was upset. I can't lie. That woman knows how to push my buttons. She just does. And when it comes to my recovery and my sobriety, yeah, I mean, I'm going to react. I'm going to retaliate. I'm going to say something. I'm going to call you out. What do you expect? If you're going to slander me, Lord, expect backlash. Question my sobriety. My sobriety is my sobriety. Nobody else needs to worry about my sobriety.
No, I'm sober by the grace of God, and the only person that needs to know that is me.
She does bait me bewildered. She really does. I know that. And, she'll sit there and say, well, why don't they just leave me alone? They're obsessed. Who's obsessed? You're the one talking about my recovery and sobriety. Kind of seems like you're obsessed. You talk about my husband not having a job. You're obsessed. I mean, what is that any of your business, Laura? Why is my husband any of your business? Why is my sobriety any of your business? How about that?
She's trying to get your attention.
Oh, she got it. And then tomorrow
Obviously.
she'll say, well, Sarah went live. Well, of course I went live. Don't ever talk about my sobriety. Oh, hey, Tracy.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how are you?
I'm grateful you came live with Sarah.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be up here with you.
When you're not here, sometimes she has to be reeled in just a bit.
Yeah, thank you for all the babysitting and the checks in the mail.
Well, Laura made a comment over there that she was helping a fellow addict by looking up True Helper. Okay, first of all, is he just a fellow addict because he's your friend, Laura? Because as the mother of an addict, I would think a fellow addict would be anyone who's got a problem with addiction, not just somebody I know.
Yeah.
And Tracy, the thing about it is, she was telling Ben in the chat that he needed to stop drinking. Ben hasn't drank in 3 weeks. What is wrong with her?
Right. But then when she found out that he hasn't drank in 3 weeks, she said, I have tears in my eyes. They are real tears. They are real tears. Ben, take a link. I'm so proud of you. After she was told that Ben hasn't drank in 3 weeks. But that just minutes before that, she told him, well, maybe you could find a decent woman if you quit drinking.
Yeah.
Well,
wow.
Maybe what you just said put him in a mood. And Ben, I am so proud of you. I keep it up one day at a time, kid. One day at a time.
It's beyond a miracle.
Yeah,
one day is a miracle. So anything beyond that's beyond a miracle. Congratulations. Thank you for having me up. I'm going to let you ladies take control.
I love you.
I love you. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're funny. You're sexy. And you made.
Okay, babe. You're like pouring it on a little too much.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Get a room.
Oh, he's funny. He makes me laugh. I'm grateful for him.
Yeah, you ought to be. And what a beautiful love story. Wonder what Laura knows about that topic.
Yeah.
Because the last love story I heard her talk about was her and her ex getting blasted on ecstasy and cocaine and all of that. So does she really have any room to talk about anybody's life? I mean, anybody's life?
No, she doesn't. And that's what she does. In my opinion, she goes after people and she really puts it to them where it hurts. I think that maybe she needs us to react. So it gives her content. She likes to throw digs at people because she knows they will respond, and then she'll have more content for the next day. She doesn't care who she hurts. She talks awful about people all the time. And she says that it's a war. No, Laura, nobody is in a war with you. Nobody is trying to take you down. That's in your own delusional mind.
Great job. 6 years. So proud of you from Cole. everybody. Yes. Thank you, Julie. Not for me, but for Sarah.
Thank you, Julie.
Um,
Yeah,
I don't.
everybody go sub up to Home Mycology. He's got some great stuff. He's got a premiere coming up. I like Home Mycology. He's my buddy.
I just I don't get her. You know, I was taken up for a fellow addict, but just 2 weeks ago she was saying how it was my fault that my son has addiction issues.
It's not your fault, Tracy. It's not your fault whatsoever.
Well, you
We are
would think
accountable for our
somebody
own actions.
you would think somebody with this much knowledge about addiction as she claims to have, that she would know that you can't put anybody else's addiction on someone else.
Right.
I feel enough guilt, trust me.
Twanda, I'm
But
so glad you missed it. It's been a day, let me tell you.
I took it down, not the one, because I wanted to make sure, because somebody questioned if it was a clone account.
You
And
know,
then
and
somebody else said she was only joking. So
I don't know. You know, I'm not going to tell people not to go and watch Laura. I'm not going to do that. She's been doing that to people. She's been telling people that we all need to be blocked. It's not us that's doing dirty shit. It's not us over here talking about people's recovery and sobriety. We're not making fun of people. We are not doxing people. It's them over there that's doing that. And they are deflecting by putting blame onto all of us. The only thing that I ask is you show proof and do not slander us. That's all
no,
I ask.
everyone doesn't know that, not the one. And this is not the time.
Why
If
are
you'd
you
like to
going-
go over to my channel and talk, that's fine. But this is not the time. I took the post down. Not everyone knows it's a clone account. Okay, so move along.
What are they even talking? Oh,
About the where Starlight says in the thing that she gave Laura True Helper's info.
oh.
I took the post down because somebody said, could this be a clone account? And I thought about it and I thought, well, I guess it could.
I didn't even see the post. See, okay. I hate my YouTube. I only get like very few community posts from people. I never get one from Tracy, no matter how hard I try. I'll unsubscribe from her and everything. I never see a community post. Drives me insane.
I don't
And
believe it was, I don't believe, because somebody else said earlier that she was just joking when she said that. So I don't believe it was a clone account. But
people come at me sideways about Hello Starlight. I ain't got a dog in that fight. I don't even know why my name's being mentioned when it comes to Hello Starlight. I didn't know that we were quote unquote enemies or that I was one of her haters. Oh my God. I thought everything was fine, but I guess not.
She makes it clear she doesn't like me, and that's okay. We're just never going to see eye to eye. But that's not what we're talking about here.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to.
She's not even on YouTube right now. So,
I mean, I wish her the best. I do. I don't have anything involved in what's going on with her.
yeah, I don't want to
to
see her hurt. I don't want to see her chased off YouTube. I don't want to see anybody have to leave YouTube. But we talked about this before, how ugly it's gotten around here.
Oh my God, it's gotten real ugly. A lot of people's uglies showing, for sure.
You know, she put in her community post that the best thing that she could do is to step away and to protect her family. So,
you know what? I really like the Shannon 681. I love her. I think she's a sweetheart. I just wanted to throw that out there. Sorry. But I was going to do a reaction on Laura and everything that she had said, but Brandon pretty much summed it up and said everything that he needed to say when it comes to AA and NA, and he's absolutely right. So if she doesn't want to agree with that, whatever, that's on her. But I'm telling everybody that you don't go to an NA or an AA meeting and then them tell you, oh, it's against the rules to have a man sponsor a woman or a woman sponsor a man. like Brandon said, if there was rules, nobody would be going.
Exactly. Addicts and alcoholics don't follow rules.
Oh, I sure as hell don't. Quit, girls. I got 3 little poodles down there on the floor, like play fighting. They're so funny.
Well, I'm glad Brandon came up, and I think you all have a beautiful love story. And if Laura knew anything about recovery, she would know one of the steps is to take your own inventory and not others.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so where does she get off taking, you know, and then to go on to say that she believes that a couple people dox themselves. Well, how would she feel if somebody said, well, they believe she called CPS on herself?
Right.
You know?
She's ridiculous. She's absolutely ridiculous.
Using addiction to hurt people is just wrong, and it breaks my heart. Because you all know my story. You know I lay awake at night wondering from minute to minute to minute what's going to happen. So when I see somebody that's at a point in their recovery that I really don't have to worry about them, I don't have to go to bed every night and worry about Sarah or worry about anybody else that I know on here that's, you know, there are a couple that I still worry about that's new to, you know, the recovery. Ben, I still worry about you. Doesn't mean I'm not proud of you. I'm absolutely proud of you. But I just, you know, we got to quit hurting people with addiction. People are dying at an astronomical rate right now from overdose due to the state of this country. It's a struggle in itself. Why do others make it harder? I don't know, Christy, but
Because
you
they
stay
lack
on your
empathy.
track.
They lack empathy.
I'm proud of Ben too. And I'm proud of Sarah, and I'm proud of Brandon. And you know what? There's days I'm proud of my son.
Yeah, I pray for him every night, Tracy. You know, there's not much I can do, but I can sure pray for him.
No, there's nothing anybody can do until he makes up his mind that he wants it more. You know, I can't want it enough for him. And one minute he wants it, and the next minute he thinks, well, I can do a little bit. You know, I can do a little bit of this or a little bit of that. I won't go back to the hard stuff.
Oh
You know,
Lord,
blah,
that's
blah,
the
blah.
first. That's the wrong way of thinking.
I know. He's not there yet.
Yeah,
All I can do is pray every night that he gets there.
I believe he will. Miracles happen every day, Trace. I truly believe that, and I think that he's going to find his way. It might take him a little time, but he'll find his way.
You know, he's found his way a couple times and he's fallen off.
Have you
And
tried to talk to it? Yeah, I don't want to talk about that here. Never mind.
yeah.
But yeah, I believe in him.
I believe in him too. I really do. So, and I believe in God. And I personally, I think God has a lot to do with, you know, if you open yourself up, the first thing they say about getting clean is you got to get honest.
Mm-hmm.
And recovery is a selfish thing. Until you have it, you can't give it away. So sometimes in recovery, you have to be selfish.
Well, yeah, actually, my sobriety comes first. My recovery comes first. Because without that, I can't be a mom. I can't be a wife. I can't be anything.
Right.
So, yeah. And I mean, I truly believe that. And it is kind of selfish, but it's for my own good, you know?
It's for your own good and everybody that loves you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump down. As far as Laura goes, you know, they just don't get any stupider.
Oh,
And I mean, I don't know what else to say. It doesn't matter what you say. Laura's just going to spew shit, throw it at the wall, and see what sticks.
I'm
Just
so
like,
tired of talking about her. It's just she's the common denominator in every situation. You know, she's always the one that throws things out or puts things
yes, into
or
the
plants
woods.
seeds. You know, she's always saying stuff, and that's why she gets a response because of the dumb, ignorant shit she says. If she would just stop talking about people, nobody would go live about her. Nobody would make videos. If she would just stick to her own stuff and mind her own business.
And she said at least 100 times in the last 2 days, all me and Makeup Mobster want is to be left alone. All we want is to be left alone. But she won't shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, TL Hodge, she definitely does put herself into everything. She has to be on every panel, and she inserts herself all the time, and she always has. It's weird, but it's true.
And Detroit, if you're out there listening,
Oh man.
I don't know what your heart is made of, but I don't care how I feel about somebody. I could never sit up there and say the things you said.
No, that was bad. I stay away from that girl. Like, I completely stay away. I ain't saying nothing bad, but I just stay away. I want no part of that. So
I mean,
it was
and
wrong.
Laura's the tampon in this community.
She really
Well,
is.
like I said, you are too strong of a person. You have too much of a support system. I know when she goes at addiction in general that it just gets under your skin. I know when she goes at recovery, it just sends you over the edge.
Oh
But the
yeah.
thing is, she knows that too.
Yeah, I'm sure she knew she'd get a response out of me for talking about my sobriety, but it makes me mad. It angers me. Like, she shouldn't talk about anyone's sobriety or
I'm
anyone's
glad she
recovery.
apologized, Pug Washing. I'm glad Detroit apologized.
So
I'm glad to hear that.
yeah, well, it still
I
wasn't
mean,
right, but
no, I mean, I couldn't even think of the things like that don't even come into my mind. But I am
no,
glad she apologized. And I hope the person she directed it at
I hope she's
accepts it.
okay. I hope
Yeah, I do
Corey's
too.
okay after hearing that. I don't care
I,
if you like her or not. That's wrong to say to somebody. That's really hurtful. So I don't know.
that's push somebody over the edge talk.
Yep.
You know, that's not just spewing, crap back and forth. That's push somebody over the edge. But I do hope that Corey heard the apology, whether she accepts it or not. Knowing Corey, probably not. But I am glad Detroit apologized.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Because,
end this. I don't know. I'm starting to get kind of tired, but
yep, I'm going to watch me. I think I'm going to eat a turkey sandwich and watch me some true crime.
that's
So,
probably why
oh,
I'm so
no,
tired of the damn turkey.
Diane's going live here in a little bit about her Christmas thing, I think. And I told her I'd be there. Oh, well, I'll stop in.
Okay, Trace. Thank you so much for coming up on panel with me. I always enjoy you. I love you half to death.
I love you. I love you all to death. I love your chat. I love your channel. I love your heart. Uh, I don't know. Everybody says ghost it, ghost it, ghost it. It's so hard to ghost it
It
when
is.
you're the topic. It is so hard. Like I said, I guess I just have to learn to pick my battles when it comes to her. And you had every right. This was a battle you deserved to fight tonight. So I'm going to jump down. All you guys have a chill night, and don't let the negativity chew at you too much.
Yeah, it's getting bad too.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
See you in a bit, sir.
All right. Have a good night, Trace.
All right. Bye, guys.
So again, Laura, you were still wrong because you said that there was rules. And there's no rules. There may be some suggestions here and there. Maybe some say no, maybe some say yes. But at the end of the day, you're still wrong. Maybe it is frowned upon where you're at. I don't know. But around these parts, it's not. And I'd also like to add that I'm going to have a special guest on panel with me. It's somebody that has been talked about a whole lot. And I'm really grateful that this person is going to come up and talk with me. I don't know what day it's going to happen. I'm not going to say who it is, but I'm very grateful that he's, it's in the works. We're talking about it. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great night. Make sure you guys go to Diane's channel tonight. She has this Christmas special, and I think it's going to be great. So thank you, the gutter. I appreciate you. So I'm going to get off here. I'm tired. I've got a lot to do. And yeah, so I'll see you guys later, and I'll see you over at Diane's. Bye, guys.